Hello and welcome to this documentary about the HS2 and the West Midlands Network Rail. Across the West Midlands and the entire UK, over 1.718 billion people use the Network Rail within a year. And according to Network Rail, over 1 million people use a train on a daily basis. However, with the HS2 still in phase 1 after 3 years of construction and 11 years since the project was given the green light, it has sparked many controversies and discussions whether the project should go ahead as planned or be scrapped entirely. One of the biggest controversies around the HS2 is the exact reason I've come to this location, which is Hopton Pools. At the moment, the HS2's current route will run through this entire area, which has led many residents of Hopton to voice their concern about the wildlife and the countryside this project will ruin in the process. Another area which has voiced its concern for the HS2 is Marston. Marston is a small village outside Stafford, around 1 mile, and is surrounded by farmland, woodland and just fields. It is a very wildlife centric place and the residents of this small village are very against the HS2. You can even see signs driving through here which say Marston against HS2 or stop HS2 on outside of people's houses, on the side of the road, on gates or even in trees. It is clear that this small community is much against the HS2 and they have voiced their concerns, so making Facebook groups and websites to spread awareness about this small little community in the rural areas of Staffordshire and voicing their concerns about this project and what it will do to the wildlife, to the farmland and even what it will do to the people here, because lots of these people have occupations of farmers, have lots of lands, and their houses and livelihood will be destroyed because of this train. Now then, also this project has brought back memories of a certain children's book called Watership Down by Richard Adams and was originally published in 1972. Now then, Watership Down started off as a sort of collection of bedtime stories that Richard Adams read to his children, making up the stories they went along, and his children loved the stories so much by the end they encouraged him to publish the whole entire book as one separate novel. Originally, the book was published as The Tales of Watership Down and featured 19 short stories. Now then, the premise of Watership Down is actually quite simple. It follows a small group of rabbits who are Fiver, Hazel, Bigwig, Blackberry, Strawberry, Holly, Bluebell, Dandelion, Violet, Buckthorn and Pipkin, who have to flee their burrow because one has sensed a great danger is coming. They flee to a hill which is dubbed Watership Down and have to fight a rival warren, the Alfrera, led by the rabbit General Woundworth. Although the book may not sound it has anything to do with the HS2, which is right considering it was published 37 years before the project was even announced, but it has this theme throughout that man destroying nature and wildlife, and the great danger which I mentioned earlier was actually in fact the men destroying the rabbit's warren to build upon it. This is a theme that really resonates with me on my view of the HS2 cutting through the countryside and really makes you think about what animals are in harm's way and are being destroyed in the process of making this network rail. Now, you may have heard of Watership Down, but many people may have heard about this not because of the book, but because of a 1978 animated film of the same name.
It's a beautiful day. All is calm and peaceful in the meadow. Or is it? If you look closely, very closely, you'll discover a whole new world with a world of difference, full of exciting adventure and desperate conflict.
The film starred John Hurt and is known for its extreme violence and blood. Which is extremely controversial for a children's film and still today is debated of if it should keep its U rating. Back onto the topic of the HS2. Another reason why the public believes it should be scrapped is because of the cost. Originally, the predicted budget for the plan was around 13 billion. It then rose to 15 million in 2015, and then in 2019 it rose again to between 80.7 billion and 88.7 billion. However, sources from the BBC claim that the budget could reach £106 billion. This has led to many people asking for the project to be scrapped, as it only cuts around 30 minutes of our journey from the West Midlands to London. However, the HS2 isn't meant to be a quicker route from the West Midlands to London. It is meant to connect Scotland and London together with a single, direct and quick train line. The HS2's route is direct from London to Glasgow, and it is meant to be able to get there within 3 hours and 43 minutes if there are no delays. Okay, I'm sitting with the Atkins employee here, and I have a couple questions to ask you. So, what do you do at Atkins?
I am a signalling design apprentice.
Okay, next question. What is your opinion on the HS2?
I think it is a great project for the economy of the country, and it will vastly improve the way we commute.
Do you think the HS2 should be scrapped?
No, I don't.
What is your overall opinion on the West Midlands Network Rail?
I think it's pretty much full on capacity, and they need some way of either increasing capacity or build new lines to get more trains and improve people's commutes.
Do you think the HS2 will make a difference to this country's network rail?
Yes, I do. With increasing capacity, the only way to do that is, well, the easiest way to do that is build a new railway, and that's what HS2 is doing.
Do you think the government will ever scrap the HS2?
I think if they do, they'll be making a big mistake.
And while the HS2 may have many positives and many negatives, the only real people in power who can do anything are the government. Whether it will be scrapped or continue, it's up for debate. The only people who can control the government, and they have put too much money and invested so much time into this project to do anything about it. But who knows what the future may hold, as the people have a voice, the people in Marston who have proved that, and the people in Hopton who are also proving that. If it's going to be scrapped, who knows? It's up to the people to decide, and up to the government.